Good evening, ma'am.
Evening, sir. Atmavandan. Welcome you all to the next session of the Luminous Landscape of the Afterlife. Uh, Let us start with this session by bestowing my humble namaskars at the holy feet of Ramrishi Pitama Patriji. The title of today's chapter is The Bardo. And as we had discussed in the first session about Bardo, it is actually the intermediate space, the transitional phase between two planes or two realms in general. It can be in the living realm also, like it's a sort of in between kind of a state where you are on in a state of flux or in particular, if we talk about related to our text that we are reading, it is the space between the physical realm and the spiritual realm. So, Bardo is basically that kind of a transitional phase where the soul has decided to leave the body, but it has not reached uh, the particular spirit world where it is uh, trying to, find its divine home. So here, the title is The Bardo, and it starts with saying that for many souls, death doesn't begin a non-stop flight to the spirit world. So here, let me remind you of Jordan as he left his body after the accident that he met with. He was hovering over the physical plane. His soul was hovering over the physical plane, and he could witness his body lying down on the ground. And then initially he was confused, and then he got that awareness that maybe I have died. And then he realizes that he is not able to go above a certain uh, form, and he's still holding on to the earthly plane. And gradually, as he understands what is happening to him in his soul awareness, he rises above and then he reaches the landing place. And there, the spirit guides assist him in, um, checking out his entire phases of life that he has already lived. So, here in the Bardo chapter, Jordan says that for many souls, death is not a non-stop flight. There are certain phases through which the soul has to go, and that relates to quite a few religious assumptions. Say, for example, in our Hinduism, when a person dies, it is said that during that 13 days period before the Termi, Garud Puran is being read, and in the Garud Puran or in the Upanishads or even in the Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned that at the time of death, the soul leaves the body, but it carries with itself certain karmas and certain vasanas which continue with the soul unless and until you cleanse it or you try to clarify it. And as the soul moves with its karma, it passes certain lokas in certain realms through which it is being tested, depending upon the actions, depending upon the spiritual experiences that the soul has had in that particular birth. So, for this, there are many rituals like we have Shraddh karmas, and there are many rituals in which the loved ones are being remembered. And it is said that if you do them properly, then you can attain moksha for your even for yourself or even for your ancestors also. So in different religions, there are different kind of traditions, but on the whole, there are certain common notions that death is a transitional phase and it's not an end, basically, and that if you if you are aware of your thoughts and actions and your spiritual practices, then that is going to follow up even after the soul leaves the body. So, as our forefathers have insisted upon, having a kind of life of prayers and compassion and ethical living, with which, we can elevate our soul and can meaningfully prepare for our death. Uh, this is in continuation with what we are going to read today, as we prepare for um, the life after death. So I'm sure we are all very much inquisitive about the kind of experiences that the soul has when it leaves the body. So here, uh, Jordan says that uh, not many people have a non-stop flight, and instead, it can start with an extended period of confusion and uncertainty. So there are some potential layovers on the earthly plane that may interrupt our journey back to the spirit. And the first of these has to do with the souls who get stuck on earth. So, the first heading that is being given in this chapter is holding on to the physical plane. Many souls are afraid to leave the site of their death and they anxiously watch over the body, as Jordan has done also, hoping somehow to reunite with it. In some cases, they may not fully realize that they are dead, or knowing that they are going to discarnate, they fear leaving the physical world and stay with their remains because it's the only anchor they know to the material universe. And they watch with great distress as the doctors cease all ministrations as orderlies or paramedics wrap and move the body. They wait and watch, and often feeling a loss of their identity, their soul link to the familiar life. So, this distress can make it really hard for them to feel the tug to leave. And as the body cools down and is no longer animated by a soul within, they continue to cling. The gentle pull towards spirit is lost for a time in a kind of soul panic. The release, the sudden freedom from the physical seems so strange and unfamiliar that the spirit is flooded with an urge to get back inside. The second aspect is that feelings of loss or incompleteness may also keep souls stuck in the same. So, if you have certain unfinished tasks, they often experience fascination with the drama as it plays out, watching what happens with loved ones, antagonists, and other participants in the death scenario. Strangely, this obsession with the place and circumstances of one's own death can be comforting for some souls. They retain a feeling of connection to the actors in the play that has just completed. They are calmed by proximity to the energy and emotions that linger, often for quite a while, at the scene of one's own death. Like the frightened souls who continue clinging to their bodies, these souls are captured by the emotions of a just past life, can't feel the tug to the spirit. They become, for a time, disembodied specters who haunt a place. They are what, in common notion, people call ghosts. The third point that is being talked about here is that it is quite common for souls to feel distress at leaving our loved ones. And for a time, Jordan says that I kept entering the rooms of the family, as I read in the first chapter, that he went to the room of his mom and dad, and he went to Eliza's room, his friend's room. And Jordan says that I could acutely feel the separation and couldn't bear to leave them. Despite being aware of the tug towards spirit, I ignored it. And for many hours, I remained a ghost. He kept hovering over that place. And while I had no interest in my body or trying to somehow reunite with it, I ached in some way to touch everyone I loved. So those hours, just at the end of my life as Jordan, are among the most painful I have known. It really pains to get detached from our loved ones. So he says, despite how much I tried, I remained largely helpless to reach and comfort my people. So, what makes reaching loved ones still tied to the physical plane more difficult is their low vibration. Souls in the spirit world have a much higher vibrational level than incarnated souls or souls who've just left their bodies. As I rushed from room to room while my loved ones slept, I still hadn't reunited with my soul knowledge. All I've learnt in past lives and between lives, or my connection to the bigger all. So I lacked much of the power and many of the abilities I have when I'm fully immersed in the spirit world. So, as Jordan says, that after leaving the body, the soul reaches the confused souls or the distressed souls. They have to go to a certain kind of ICU, that is they call here the healing place. So here he says this is the first stop for many distressed souls, that is the healing place. And it is quiet, insulated from telepathic and psychic noise. From outside, it has the appearance of some kind of open air hospital, which with countless souls lying motionless, apparently sleeping. And there are healing guides who minister to them as the souls live, whatever vivid stories they've created. And some souls feel that these stories are experienced in mental or dream states. For some, they have serious problems to work out and actually travel to dimensions designed for intensive learning. So, in the later part of the chapter, we are going to understand these dimensions where uh, the souls with the serious problems, where which dimensions they actually experience. And here in the healing place, Jordan says that once you are assigned to the healing place, you have very little control over the events. You are spiritually conscious. The flow of your stories, strength of your leftover beliefs, assumptions, and the surges of raw emotion will gradually subside. And the treatment process is titrated by guides. You are entirely in their hands. So the spirit guides assist you at the healing place. Souls arrive in the healing place for many reasons. These can include number one, dying while in a coma and unaware of the transition. Second, dying in a psychotic state with a loose grasp of conventional reality and arriving in the spirit world influenced by brain based hallucinations. Third, dying a sudden or violent death in a state of terror or rage, and in some cases, not yet knowing they are discarnate. And the fourth, having had a life strongly influenced by fear and fear avoidance. These souls often arrive terrified, with minds practiced at inventing catastrophic possibilities. Each catastrophic thought turns into a vivid experience that only terrifies them more. So, the harsh bardo described in the Egyptian and the Tibetan Book of the Dead derive from these fear fueled stories. Fear avoidance is also a factor. These souls become frantic and they try to escape the images of their own making. And then we have the best preparation for this bardo while still incarnate is to work on the realization that your thoughts aren't real and use meditation to observe thoughts rather than get caught and consumed in them. And the fifth reason that is being talked about here, that why souls arrive in the healing place, is that of having had a life strongly influenced by anger. Anger and violence are the opposite of love. So, incarnate souls who have learned to respond to pain with anger are unprepared for the spirit world. Violence is even more problematic. Violence inflicts wounds as much on the perpetrator as the victim. So, it creates pockets of inert and distorted energy in the perpetrating souls. These souls, as a result, suffer isolation and cannot hear love. They arrive deeply alone and require major energy transfusions, much like we have transfusions. They need energy transfusions before they can even begin to connect. And some of them remain in the healing wards for Earth centuries. The next is being said as having had a life influenced by greed, because greed is the product of delusion that we are all separate, unconnected by love. It leaves souls profoundly confused immediately after death. And like angry souls, they arrive largely deaf to love. So, in the last class, as we had read DOA, that was deaf on arrival. So, all these factors actually cause you to be deaf on arrival. And that is the reason they are not able to proceed towards the spirit world. So, the next point here is being talked about is having had a life ending in despair. Souls who despair have missed the point of life. They think life is about achieving happiness and that pain indicates a blatant failure. But life isn't about being happy, it's about learning to love. No matter what level of pain or suffering we face, the pain is an essential part of the lesson, not a sign of failure. Having had a life marked by shame and self hate also causes our delay to move to the next level. Shame occurs when a soul believes their life choices to be at odds with what is good and right. So, because they believe, they feel judged and they believe that they are undeserving and they remain deaf to the sound of love permeating the afterlife. So, after this, Jordan talks about the strange dimensions wherein the soul enters. So, souls who go to the healing place while from outward appearances sleeping can be elsewhere. And souls with intense, dominant emotional states may have some of their soul energy sent to dimensional realities, special bardos designed for their recovery. So, as we were talking about the serious problems that the soul has to work out, it actually travels to these strange dimensions where matter can appear and disappear by mere intention. In these dimensions, the soul's unprocessed emotions from earth are turned into adversaries, love objects, events, storms, quakes, arrivals, departures, familiar environments, alien environments, and elaborate plots with spine tingling crises and crescendos. The soul conjures most of this, but some elements are added or remodeled by guides to help resolve the jagged remnants of emotions from the soul's last life. In these and other worlds, the soul's body and energy suffer no further damage. A thug or gunman, for example, conjured to represent a soul's paranoia and fear, cannot inflict actual pain or injury. The gun may fire, but there are no wounds other than a moment of terror. So, here the souls learn to face and resolve emotional pain in these environments. And souls dealing with anger may create Kafka's bardo of injustice and victimization. Souls who are steeped in fear project their own demons in almost the same way 3D printing works on Earth, and then learn to battle with them. Souls struggling with desire and avarice keep acquiring and then losing the things they acquired. Some have confused these bardo with hell, but there is no punishment. These are simply well designed, concentrated learning environments. These plots function like dreams do on Earth, helping to process pain and distress. And like dreams, nothing truly bad can happen to souls in the strange dimensions. Guides add small twists to the plot so that they can gradually resolve, and the soul's vibrational energy will eventually move to a higher level. So on Earth, strong emotions seem highly charged, but in actuality, souls with residual high emotions have low vibrational levels. At these levels, they would be deaf and isolated in the spirit world. So this is the spiritual equivalent of being crazy, and that is why we can't allow souls still struggling with intense emotions into the spirit world. And this brings us to the next title, that is Residuals of Evil. Those whose response to life has been to cause harm, those who have inflicted great suffering on others, arrive in the afterlife suffering a form of solitary confinement. So here they are kept alone, and it says to hear love, to feel how it permeates the spirit world, would require a reversal and repudiation of everything they've been. They would have to become aware of how their life diverged from the path of love. Such awareness and a contrition is rare in the period immediately following death. So they remain alone for a time. They don't see the guides who minister them. Their energy across many areas of their soul body is inert, deadened. They have become spiritually sclerotic, hardened by the damage they've caused. On earth, this hardness is adaptive. It is the decommissioning of inherent love and so in the afterlife, it's the effect of causing them to lose their senses. So they are, for a while, that they are being kept. And here it is said that some of these souls are stuck in darkness, some struggle in dimensions where they feel emotionally but not physically. The pain from every wound they inflict. And some are like Robinson Crusoe living alone in the bardo, where every day is the same with nothing they can do to change it. So, as these souls slowly awaken to love, as their hardened energy is restored, they must encounter a yet more difficult fate, that is the life review. Though guides are compassionate and without judgment, The process is merciless truth telling. So, as they say that after death, there is a kind of life review, the whole picture of whatever you've done in your entire life is being brought before you, it is being reviewed, what all good and bad karmas you have done. So, these souls must experience every moment of pain they have caused, couldn't contain. That would be disintegrating on earth. Nevertheless, most souls choose to face this. Souls who can't face life review remain in the anterooms of the spirit world. They are not in hell, they are not. They yearn for love and for their soul group, their familiar guides, but they have no passport. They no longer belong to all. They are no longer citizens of spirit. So, the next heading that we proceed to is evil from good intentions. So, earlier, as we read about the residuals of evil that a spirit, a soul carries with itself, some souls cause great pain out of intentions for good. On earth, they live under a belief system that justifies inflicting damage for a higher cause. The Inquisition, the pogroms, and the jihads are examples. Most wars fought for principles such as protecting or uniting the homeland or for national honor are examples of this. The father who beats a child for their own good is another example. And the mother ignoring such abuse in order to keep the family together is an example. In the Bible, Abraham's willingness to kill Isaac because it was the will of God is another example. So our history is replete with evil of country and souls who do damage in the name of high values and holy words, confusion in the land places. They are able to hear and feel love, believe. For example, souls who believe in God of severity and judgment may not be able and support that them. Expect souls who believe in revenge, punishment, an eye for an eye, may simply be deaf to the gentle voices of guides soothing and ministering to them. They expect to be shouted at so nothing else can be heard, are as they expect, until the storyline born of these old beliefs can be gradually. So, in this chapter, we are trying to see various forms of experiences, the time where it vacates the body, and the kind of actions that he has undergone through his life. And in continuation with this, we come to the next heading that is time travelers. So, some souls arrive at the gate having spent little time in the present moment of their lives. They lived in their past, reviewing old sins and mistakes. They lived in the future, imagining either great disasters or great triumphs. These souls, always ahead or behind the present moment, encounter special problems after death. They struggle to see what's actually there and are either slipping back to re experience moments of the just completed life or imagining a future in the spirit world that's unlikely to happen. So they pedal back and forth between past and future, ignoring the love that's all around. Because time travelers aren't good observers of the present, they need a period to experience quiet, non threatening images. They may live in gardens, as I first encountered in the landing place. Jordan tells that, or soothing rooms with windows giving beautiful views. They may be given energy baths that are intensely pleasurable and akin to sexual feelings on earth. The bath focuses attention on the present, and in that state, they are more likely to hear the sound of love. Next in sequence is the older souls and the direct flight. Souls who have lived many lives have experienced the passage from a physical body to being in spirit hundreds of times. They more easily recognize that they have died, remember, and allow the and to the arms of the guides and the loved ones. They know the routine and what to expect. By emotionally disturbed or less experienced souls are not their fate. These are the older souls. They are more advanced and they have worked through many karmic lessons. Their lives, while often marked by pain and great spiritual truth, they were not lost or alone. They saw through the amnesia and didn't forget that spirit lives with and in them. As a result, many make the direct flight to a soul group and quickly resume their work, often learning special skills. There are many careers in the spirit world that they will utilize on earth or after they've stopped incarnating. These souls may not pause for a full life review, but will in time consult with guides about the life they have just lived and left. So, this is about the condition of many souls when they leave their body. And as we have realized that there are some distressed souls, confused souls who have to first uh, rest in the healing place where spirit guides are basically like giving them the intensive care as on the earth. And some of them are not very sure about where they've gone. And because of some evil residues, they have to clear themselves up and uh, in their is the death on arrival. So they should know the vibration, the love, they are eventually getting healed at the healing place. And then we read about time travelers and the older souls who can go directly. So in the last part of the chapter, we have the title that is How to Spend Less Time in the Bardo. I'm sure after reading about the condition of souls at their last stage, uh, after reading about the condition of souls at that we should be having a kind of direct flight rather than allowing our soul to hover here and there and feel that pain and distress. So there are things Jordan says that you can do now to have a more direct flight after death. Layovers on earth, in the healing place, or in the strange dimensions can be minimized by doing these 6 things. So let us register these 6 things which can help us spend less time in the bardo and prepare us for a direct flight. So the first one is prepare now to recognize when you are dead. While out of the body and near death experiences are not rare, most of the time when you are outside of your body, you have crossed over. Pay attention to the events surrounding your out of body experience. Are life saving efforts continuing? Are people mourning? Are they wrapping or cleaning your body? Also, note how long you have been out of body. If a lot has happened and significant time has gone by, your incarnation is likely over. The second, feel and accept the tug up to spirit. If you are out of body, pay attention to the tug towards spirit. It may show up as a desire to let go. It may come as a movement upward, or it may simply arrive as a graying out of the physical scene of your death while your conscious awareness continues. However, it shows up, allow it, encourage it, accept and go with it. The third, trust that you will be guided and cared for. From the moment you leave your body, guides are closely attending to you. Expect them. Let them uh, take you where you need to go. Trust that they are with you, even if you can't see them. They love you. They have only your best interests at heart. Their sole job is to care for you. The fourth, listen for a voice or words in your mind. Your guides will very soon start communicating telepathically. In some cases, the guides communicate with a simple awareness, a sense of knowing. Put your full attention to hearing whatever they convey. The fifth point, avoid forming mental images or pictures. This often leads to disturbing visions that plague souls just arriving in spirit. Instead, focus on your feelings of love for souls who've already crossed over. You will see them soon. Anticipate that and keep your attention on love. Feel it, listen for it. And the sixth point is, as soon as you see guides or loved ones, attend fully to them, listen to them, feel the love flowing between you. Love is your passport. When you feel it, you won't wait long before entering the spirit world. So, friends, this is the end of chapter 3, and I'm sure it has given much clarity to all of us about the condition of the soul at the time when it leaves the body. Thank you so much for listening to me so patiently. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Each chapter is actually unfolding a lot of ambiguity, and I hope everyone is really enjoying and learning a lot from the session. Kamaljit ma'am, would you like to add a few words here?
Yesterday, I shared that this book is preparing us for the spirit world, that how you have to live there. And today, they are preparing us here also, that how you have to go there, how should you prepare here. So you should focus on love, you should sense love, because in the spirit world, everything is love. You can communicate with love only. Isn't it, Kiran ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, exactly. As you have mentioned, it is basically that we, as we say, whatever experiences we have, they are being mentioned so clearly about grief and which we in our normal language call the negative emotions, and how a soul has to, our forefathers or maybe our grandparents, great grandparents, they tell us to have a kind of sattvic attitude and leave these negative emotions so that you are able to uh, you know uh, travel to the next level of the afterlife smoothly. So,
You can land directly. Yeah.
yes, so I think everything is put here so clearly and in a very, common terms, which are, I think, related to maybe in every religion, it is put in a different manner, but the principles are the same, the rules are the same. So,
Yes,
as they were
yes.
talking about the hell and the heaven, I could relate to that, that how, we are given those pictures. They are the strange dimensions that are being talked about here, that the soul reaches some kind of a strange dimension if it is having some sort of serious issues. So, I think
So it
everyone,
is better to prepare here. And the unified course, that only led us to the love. In the last, Babaji explained that everything is love. So, because in the spirit world, nothing other than love. So, wo, the preparation started from our unified course.
That's right,
yes,
ma'am, actually. And one more thing I'd like to add here is the book is so exciting. Like, every chapter, or rather, every topic in a particular chapter is quite, in my opinion, is unfolding a lot of ambiguity surrounded around these topics. And while, you know, I was, and almost 50% of my day is actually, running after the topic. I mean, what will happen today, and how will ma'am describe, and what all examples she will be giving. So, in the process, I thought I just wanted to see how this gentleman will look like, beat Jordan or his father, Matthew McKay. And I just thought I'll browse the web and find out how he actually looks like. And I could trace one of his, interviews in, the interviewer actually is asking that it is, basically he's a Christian, and there is no such thing as life after life, or life after death, life between death and birth. So while he was expressing about the message that he has got from his son, okay, so the gentleman was quite inquisitively inquiring, like, I mean, how can you be so sure that it is your son, not a hallucination? So he said, to that question, Mr. Matthew McKay replied that there are many scientific evidences that life exists, even after death. So the interviewer got confused, and he had asked, like, how can you be so sure that there is a scientific evidence that life exists after death? So to that question, Mr. Matthew McKay said, he gave a lot of examples stating that, many of the professors around US, that they're actually trying to, conceptualize that what happens after death, and what is the transition process. So he named a couple of scientists, and I forgot their names. And one of the cases, in one of the scientists, he was mentioning that he had studied 7,000 such cases where children remembered their past lives, names, places, characters, and their family members, and with evident, evidences, quite a lot of evidences. So it is no matter whether we accept it or not. So there is enough evidence available around, and but the only thing is, when we are ready, only then the master appears. So in this case, in our current situation, the book is our master, and I believe that the book is coming through Ma'am Kiran Ma'am. Is actually a blessing for all of us, and thank you so much, Kiran Ma'am. And you have spent a lot of time, and the way you are, reading the book and explaining is quite amazing, ma'am. And once again, I take this opportunity to thank you.
Um, Yes, sir. I would like to add here that in our first session, I had mentioned this thing. It is given in the book, as Matthew McKay says, that it might be a figment of my imagination being a father, that I was whether I was actually communicating with Jordan, or whether not, how can I prove that?
But
Because he was
yes, no,
he's a psychologist.
he said that
So
many psychologists also listened his voice.
Yes,
yes, yes. So the same experiences about Jordan. Jordan was appearing to other people also
and in one of the
through
cases, in one
through
of
the
the
process of
experiences,
channeling.
Mr. Matthew McKay said that Jordan was fighting with his sister Becca almost all the while, and in the last few years of his
In the last, the it changes to love. Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes,
in the last few months, say about a
yes.
year or so, that changed actually to love. And after passing on to the next plane, he realized that whatever discomfort that he had caused to Becca, that he felt really bad. I mean, this is all. I mean, he came to her dreams also, and a lot of family members also. And when Mr. Matthew was in need of a suggestion, and those suggestions, I mean, whatever a higher being could give, was given to the family members to pass on the message to his father. So, I mean, quite a lot of evidences that he had given that it is not a hallucination, and it is fact. I mean, whatever I've stated is they're all facts.
Here, I would like to mention about Eliza also. Like, remember, he was 23 years old, and Eliza was the love of his life, and she was the first person whom he could, recall as the
Mental.
soul vacates the body, and he wanted to see her. So that it is obviously love as we see on the earthly plane, but it is connected to the heart center also. So as in the beginning, the forward given by Suzanne, she says that the moment you connect with your heart center, and you can feel
Solar
that,
plex.
yeah, you can feel that kind of relaxation between your solar plexus and the heart center, you will realize that your gut feeling tells you that, this is actually true that's happening. So it's entirely a kind of open experience that everybody is going to have with it. That's why I was saying that there is no dictation here. And Jordan, in each of the chapters, is giving such a step-by-step, picture in front of you that, these are the kinds of experiences that the soul will have. Either the soul is going to have a direct flight, and either otherwise it is going to be distressed and confused. And the levels of confusion are also being discussed here. So I think we are really fortunate to have this discussion on this plane. And as ma'am rightly said, that we are being prepared for it. So it is the blessings of our great gurus that all this learning is coming to us.
It is, yes, ma'am. It is, yes, indeed. It is
Yes, yes.
indeed, and thank you, Kiran, ma'am. And this is a great book indeed. And I mean,
Thank
I
you.
mean, in fact, I feel that that book has chosen us, and I'm really, I don't know how to say thanks. Thank you,
Thank you
Kamaljit,
so
ma'am.
very much. Thank you, Anil sir.
The
Thank
feeling is
you.
mutual, sir. Thank
Mm,
you.
yes, yes. Even I am also very eager to uh, listen this book, and I really wait for 9 o'clock.
But you're a bit late, ma'am, today. You joined at 9:17.
Yes,
We
yes.
have certain.
I I was in Pyramid actually, and I was coming on the way, and I I thought it is not still 9 o'clock. When I saw, when I reached home, then I saw, then I immediately joined.
Fine, ma'am. I mean, we did not, you know, uh, wait for anybody to come because, the scheduled time was 9 to 10. So we
Yes,
realized
yes,
that
yes. You should
we should
not.
not wait
But
for anybody.
yes,
So,
yes. Then
a lot of people are
exactly.
all,
It should
a lot of
start
people
on
are,
time.
yes, ma'am. Thank you, Kiran, ma'am. Thank you, Kamaljit, ma'am. We'll catch up with you guys
Thank
tomorrow.
you so very much, Anil
Thanks.
ji.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
Good night.
you,
Thank you.
Kiran
Thank you
ma'am.
so much. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank